Welcome to Charmed Life, a radio show discussing spirituality, magic, and the unconditional love of the universe. Thanks for tuning in. And I am your host, Tricia Carr. Welcome to this episode. You know, this is actually episode 153. I'm really excited to almost to be at my 3rd year anniversary with this show. So I couldn't have done it without any and all of you, even if this is your first time listening or watching. So much gratitude to you, so much appreciation for this opportunity. So I just wanted to take a moment and celebrate that and tell you guys that you can like, subscribe, share, comment, and review the podcast. If you do that, it boosts me in that old algorithm thingamajigger, and then we are all able to connect with even more consciousnesses and more light and share that love and that light. So I want to welcome you to do that. And without any further delay, I'm really excited to welcome today's guest. She is just so full of light. She's an author and metaphysical expert, an advocate of high vibrational living, and she facilitates certified workshops, retreats, crystal healing, all to promote wellness. And she is she's promising us that she's going to explore together some crystal frequencies that are going to rock your world. And so welcome to the program, Jolie DeMarco.
Hi, Tricia. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I just love your personality, and I love how you just, so obviously shine that joy and that just like almost zest for life and energy. So thank you for that. It's really beautiful.
Oh, thanks. I just love sharing. When you love something that you do, you just want to share it with everybody.
Can't help it. That's right. Yeah. And actually, that just reminded me for some reason when you said that, it popped into my mind. Kid Rock. I'm sure you get that a lot, right? No, I'm not saying you remind me of Kid. No, what I mean is, Kid Rock, he actually back in the 80s got a record deal, and then he got dropped because the Beastie Boys hit it. And they're like, oh, we can't have like 2 white rappers because that's like too weird and, it doesn't happen. And so he dropped it, but he just had to keep doing what he loved. And then, it all started to unfold from, I think, 10 or 15 years later. But he had to just keep doing it because that's what he loves. And so I think that's a great message for just you will be successful, or whatever it is, that if you're just doing what you love, because that's the end, that's the goal of all goals, is to be love and to experience that energy for yourself. So, well, anyway, having said that, I would love for you to share, Jolie, with everyone, share with, your journey. I'm super interested in how you got started in the work that you're doing, crystal healing and being a clairvoyant, and just the work that you offer now too.
Okay. It all started when I basically was a little girl. I used to go to little rock shows and things that were in the mall, collect stones and crystals, and I really had fun with them. I started making jewelry. I just became kind of like a rock hound, not like Kid Rock, but
Oh, I just got that. That's so funny. I didn't even see that parallel. You were Kid Rock. You were.
Say you rock, and I got a crystal for that. But yeah, so it all came as like a little hobby at first. Like I thought I wanted to be a geologist, and then it kind of went to different things. But I always felt energy from them, and I never realized exactly until I got older how energy works, and it's all frequencies and science. Mm-hmm. And so most people don't know that when we're feeling things, it's because everything has a frequency, a vibrancy, right. And there's ways to measure that. And in crystals and stones, we're able to measure the frequency of those and know how they work in our energy field. So most of you probably know about your auric field. It has different layers in it. And with using crystals and stones, it penetrates through all of our layers of our aura and all of our existence to affect us, to help us balance, release, advance, move forward in our lives. So it's really positive to start working with crystals and stones because they're pretty much natural vitamins. That's where vitamins originally came from. So it's kind of cool when you start doing the research, or if you want to check out my book, High Vibe Crystal Healing. It teaches you soup to nuts about 66 crystals and how they work with your body, 26 really cool epic layouts. So you can go anywhere from calming ADHD to out-of-body experiences just for some fun. It can help you with advancement, and some people that have old patterns or addictions have some great ones in there to help you release what you need. So it's kind of fun, and you go on these little journeys and experience the different feelings, and see yourself advance with them over time when you do the grids. Kind of like in a series. Like you can do them in a series. Is really cool when you start working with them.
That's amazing. And now what I think maybe some people may not realize is that you can experience the frequencies of crystals and everything even remotely. And so you could do, I don't know if you do this, but I imagine that you have done like crystal healing sessions just over the phone or over Zoom or Skype. Is that something that you do or?
I do crystal readings over phone. I don't necessarily do Skype. I do a lot of email readings when I do intuitive things. So my channel Archangel Michael as well.
So remotely, but remotely you can conduct and feel the experience the frequencies of crystals, even if you're not like proximate physically, and it doesn't have to be a locality thing.
It's the intention that you use with the crystals. So absolutely. It's just like Reiki. When people do Reiki, you could do distance healings. So you can use the crystals with distance healing as well. So it's a form of healing through space and time. Right. So absolutely. Some people can't grasp that because they don't understand about the energy of how it transfers. But when people start to realize the science of that, and a lot of people that take, I would say healing modalities such as Reiki or hands of light, hands of touch, those modalities, they understand it. So it's easier for people to kind of get it. But the more and more you practice, you could be a beginner with my book, because I teach you straight from the beginning about how the frequencies work with your body, how certain crystals harmonize with each other. And you could realize that some crystals, we always kind of joke around this about, at my stores, I have 2 crystal stores, and people buy a lot of jewelry, obviously, and we love crystals, we love to sell them. But sometimes people have about 20 different bracelets on with different crystals. And, sometimes the people aren't so grounded. So I always say, do you know what those crystals are that you're wearing? Do they harmonize together? And I give them a little lesson because, sometimes they're wearing ones like a stone called ruby zoisite. It makes them very active, makes them motivated and uppity. And then they'll also wear another stone like amethyst that kind of calms you down a little bit. So it's they're kind of contradicting. And there's other stones too that can harmonize together, absolutely. But sometimes it's just funny to see that some people just aren't educated on the knowledge of it. And when you do, and just a little bit of knowledge on it, it makes your life so much easier, and you choose the stones for what you need each day, because our body always knows what it needs. So there's easy ways to kind of pick out the correct stone for you.
And I've always had one, because I'm not an expert in the way that you are. One thing that I've loved to do as I was starting to open up relationships with crystals and minerals is I would actually go and be drawn to one and just hold one and get the intention and kind of connect with it clairvoyantly, intuitively, or telepathically even is really how I usually experience it, and also clairsentiently, the way it feels, and sort of ask it for something. For example, one time I picked a stone and I was like, I have an intention to use this stone for communicating with, because I'm an animal communicating, facilitate my animal communication and communicating with nature and everything. And then I went and read about it, and that was literally one of the descriptions. So that's kind of cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. And it was what do I always forget? It's the green one. Amazonite, or is it argan? Yeah, no, it's aventurine. Sorry, aventurine. And so, I would use. So that's something that I've found really interesting and exciting. And each one, even though they're the certain categories, like amethyst has these qualities, but might they have also some kind of dynamism because they are individual consciousnesses of themselves, still kind of its own personality? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I always say your crystals talk to you all the time. And because they have frequencies and they are part of the universe and the earth, that because they have certain energies, for example, and I don't know if you can see this, but this is a rose quartz point. We call it a generator point. And rose quartz basically is for love and compassion for self and for others. So its vibrancy is really high, not only because of the shape of it, but also just because, it's molecular made up. And basically, you could use it setting the intention. It's almost like programming your crystals. They already have their own innate program, I want to say, because of their frequency. But knowing that you can use a crystal like this to hold, to bring love into your life, to bring you more peace and compassion, loving energy into your space. So yeah, it's really neat. But you could also program it, for it to not only bring love into your space, but for you to outwardly push the energy of love and we'll do a little heart, love and everything, So it depends. Like whenever I work with a crystal, I'll hold one So for example, I'll hold this one called Amazonite. So it's a green little pretty stone. It automatically aligns all of our chakras and balances us on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. So this is a good one that you could just carry every day if you feel that you need to be balanced. If you don't need to be balanced, then you don't want to necessarily wear it that day because you're already balanced. Right. So you don't always need crystals all the time, but they are our little tools. There are little, like I say, our little healing box of little goodies that we can use and utilize, and Mother Earth has given them to us to share. So once you know how they work, it's kind of like eating something. You know what foods work with your body. So with crystals, not everybody's going to resonate to the same exact crystal because they have different needs in their life. Right. So it's kind of cool when you start feeling them. And like you said, I always tell people to come into our metaphysical stores, and we have over 300 different types of crystals. And when people don't know anything about it, I just say, just look at all the crystals and pick out the ones that you're drawn to, whether visually or feeling, however. And then I have them hold them up to their heart chakra, and they close their eyes, they take a deep breath in and relax and breathe out. And it's like they feel like a yes or a no. And so it's an easy way to, what crystal works for you for that day.
And you could hold a specific intention too. It could be just generally like, do you want to come home with me? Do you want to be my best friend? Or it could be like I did, I want a stone for, I would like a crystal for facilitating this particular thing, this intention that I have, and use it that way as well. I have on right now a smoky quartz, and smoky quartz.
Oh yeah, that's a good baby. You got a good one.
You like it? You're like, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's really pretty. And I feel what I also feel in it when I got it, because I got it from a metaphysical store in town, and it was wrapped already, just the pendant. And the person, I know it was a woman who wrapped it, just because the store owner told me that it was a girl, and was referring to her. Oh yeah, these are all hers, or something like that. And I never met her. I don't even know her name, but I can just feel her intention and her love in this. And I feel like I took it with me, and it's really beautiful. I think I also resonate with the metal that she used too. It's kind of really nice. And so smoky quartz, is that kind of calming, grounding? What does smoky quartz tend to hold frequencies in?
I got my smoky here too.
I love that. I think they're so beautiful. I love the brown and gray. Like they can have all these different, shades in them. It's really, and sometimes they even look a little bit purple, amethysty.
Yeah, they do. They come in different shades depending where they come from, the location. But smoky quartz basically is to repel negative energy. It does ground you and keeps you protected. It's a very good stone. Like you said, if you're multitasking and things, it kind of calms your energy. It absolutely is great for that.
Okay.
I do love smoky quartz. It's one of our best sellers because everybody can use a smoky quartz.
Yeah.
And wearing it, it's really nice too because it kind of protects your energy field. So in our auras, sometimes when we meet people or we come across people in our workspace or office, not everybody might be in a great mood, so it kind of protects your own. It kind of puts like a little barrier for you before like the negative vibes kind of get instilled inside of you. Right. That kind of pushes them away. So it has a vibrancy that can push out too. So it's depending, like you said, setting your intention of what you want, the frequency that you're setting with it. But it's definitely a stone that you should have in your collection for sure.
I have it, and it sits like right at the heart, the way that this chain holds it, which is really great. And actually it's a little low in where my heart chakra is, so I guess it's maybe even the connection to my solar plexus, the way it's kind of hitting for me. Okay. And I wore it yesterday. I was at a workshop all day long, which was a beautiful workshop, and there was a lot of inner work, but I felt it calling to me intuitively, and it's like, yeah, let's make sure you're not going to grab other people's stuff that they're releasing. You know what I mean? Like, it's about me. It's not about them projecting onto me. Let's make sure you're going to stay in your lane, because there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in this workshop. So, and today I'm multitasking, so that's really interesting. I love that because it helps with multitasking, it makes me feel calm. I didn't understand it as that, so really fascinating. And so, let's talk about channeling too, because you channel Archangel Michael, and maybe what crystals you use in channeling, and when did you start working with Archangel Michael in that way?
I guess it was about maybe 16 years ago. I went to some sort of healing. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was sort of like Reiki. There's a lot of seasoned people there, and I was laying down and receiving the healing, and they were teaching about the energy and stuff. And I woke up and I said, this guy Michael's been talking to me for a really long time. And I don't know who he is. And one of the seasoned women there was like, can you describe him? So I described him. She's like, that's Archangel Michael. And I was like, I didn't know anything about angels or anything. I was totally honest.
Yeah.
And they're laughing at me. They thought it was the funniest thing, but they're like, you don't even know who he is. Look him up when you go home. So I looked him up. I was like, oh my God, that's him. He's been talking to me for a long time. But that was the first time I heard him super clear.
Wow.
And when I was little, I always would hear things too. Like, since I remember like maybe 7, 8 years old, and I would hear things a lot. Clairaudient, I'm a clairaudient and channel. But Archangel Michael, always the best path for everybody for their greater good. So any messages that he gives you, past, present, or future, are for that. And the best stones to work with as a clairvoyant or clairaudient to increase your frequencies in that way, where you're on a higher vibration, so you can receive direct line, like a direct phone call to your guides or angels. I would tell you it's Cavensite, and I'm trying to find one here for you. It's one of my favorite stones. There we go. I don't know if you could see this. Cavensite is the blue in the stone. I'm going to put it a little bit closer.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. This one has such high vibrations anyway, but when you work with it, when you're trying to meditate or channel for yourself or for other people, if you're a practitioner of healing or psychic intuitiveness, it's really, really strong. It opens you up so much that it's almost like amplifying, like turning up the energy of the volume that you can hear or sense through like your visions. So that's a really good one. Have you ever worked with that one?
No, I'm not familiar with it at all. And it's spelled K-A-V or K-E-V?
I'm sorry, it's C-A-V-E-N.
Okay.
Yeah, Cavensite.
Okay.
I'll send you one, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh my God,
what?
Oh my God."
That's too sweet. Oh yeah, that's exciting. Wow, I love it. I pick different. I kind of just work with different stones when I'm going to channel, or like when I go into a session, a one-on-one session. Oftentimes there's channeling in that. I just kind of like look intuitively at whoever's around, and crystals wise, I call them who's, and we'll like kind of use that one, and it seems to, again, I just do it intuitively because I don't know in advance consciously what we're going to talk about or how it's going to unfold, to try to stay present with it. But I'm super excited to connect with a Cavensite. That sounds really exciting.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There's one called Kunzite too.
I know about Kunzite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know that one, Kunzite?
I know about. I don't know if I don't think I have a Kunzite. I just think I've seen or experienced them before. I actually have a similar experience meeting Archangel Ariel, in that I was like, I was reading a book, and in the book, it was, I didn't know anything about angels. It was the first time I was like, why not try this weird thing, learn about angels. And the author said, you can ask for your guardian angel's name. And I already had a meditation practice and was journeying and experiencing clairvoyance and all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, okay, cool. Put down the book, and I was like, what's the name of my guardian angel? And I heard Ariel, and I was like, like the Little Mermaid. That's a dumb angel name. It's like, I don't know what that is. And again, I've always been a crazy. I think I'd already started to communicate with animals too. I'd started to open up, like just as a, not professionally. So yeah, then I went and I looked up Angel Ariel and learned about this Archangel Ariel person who, oversees animals and nature. And yeah, same like you. I was like, my mind was blown. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, Ariel's powerful too. I mean, all archangels are powerful, but it's just amazing how like they come to us. But I always laugh at you. Do everybody ask you this? Most people always say to me, well, whose angel is he? He's everybody's angel.
Exactly.
Right? He's not just our angel because we channel him. It's everybody's angel.
Exactly.
They're multi-dimensional beings. They could be in more places at once, obviously.
To us, they're universes unto themselves. You know what I mean? Like from what we can perceive, there's way more of that energy. And there's overlap anyway, because we're talking about we're talking about one energy. We're talking about really, there's only one true energy in the universe. But I love Michael. I actually did this series over this last year, Archangels and Universal Laws, where I connected with an archangel and channeled a message about a particular universal law. And with Michael, what came through Michael was information about the law of one, and it was amazing. I actually go back and read it several times because it's so powerful. For me, the information that came through was so attuning and just so like unifying, like really just locks you into that universal energy. Michael obviously is very powerful, right?
He's so powerful. I feel when he comes in the room, it's like whoosh through your body. You just know that he's present.
It's just like truth, you know what I mean? Like, and blue is often, as a color therapy, is often associated with truth, and Michael is often associated with blue, and it's just that frequency of just truth from all perspectives.
He just gave me chills talking about him. Now I feel like he's here.
Well, yeah.
Follows you in.
You say it, you feel it enough. Yeah, exactly.
One of my books I wrote called Soul Talking and Relationships, it came derived from Archangel Michael, and they, a lot of the readings that I did through Michael. So he's like really into sharing the relationship, no nonsense kind of stuff too.
Yes.
But yeah.
No nonsense. Absolutely. Because it's just like, I feel that from Metatron too. Do you work with Metatron? Is kind of like, it's not really tough love. It's just kind of like, boom, this is the truth of you and be it now. That's how, and Michael does that too, but a different, for me, the way I connect, those energies are different. And I remember in that, like, because we always think of Michael as like protection, and that's, it's not that that's not true, but I got in my connecting with him and for that thing, and a deeper perspective of that is that it's not a defensive kind of protection. It's just that if there is only one energy, then there is no opposing energy. And so it just, so there's no reason to be protected. You just come into alignment with the one energy, and that's it. It's kind of a deeper truth. But I still use them for protection when I'm orienting to, I need help, I need protection. Like that's a human experience. It's okay.
I love that.
Yeah. So you started so then from then, 16 years ago, Michael knocked on your clairaudient door. And then, how was that? Then you just were, going and exploring on your own, and eventually it evolved into you facilitating it for others as well? How did that journey unfold for you?
Yeah, basically I was self-taught, or I want to say taught by the higher power.
Yeah.
And once they showed me how to channel, I want to say better and better, then it gets more accurate for people. I also channel Galileo, but Archangel Michael is the one through all my readings that I channel directly with and the strongest with. When I channel, besides using Cavanite, I also have other stones by me. One that I like particularly is the Kunzite that I talked about. That one's also for clairaudient. It also works with your heart chakra, so you can be compassionate and loving as hearing and being able to speak using your throat chakra, what you need to, and get your message across in the proper way that your client can understand you. And I want to say accept the information, because, you could say something one way to one person and, they might take it, a negative way or a positive way, but it's just the way that they hear them. So Archangel Michael and also the stones really help me be able to say it in the way that the people can accept things in a positive way of accepting that information, to have them handle it in the way in their life that they need at this time. So it's kind of really cool. And then when I started working with the stones, so channeling became stronger. I started doing crystal healing right away around that same amount of time, doing healings and Reiki. And as I added the crystals, I also was kind of like you, Tricia. I used my intuitiveness to choose the crystals. Then I started learning about their frequencies and how their frequencies work with them. And then I started taking notes on thousands of people I did crystal healings on. So, I kept finding the right combinations for everything. So I wasn't really going to other books or anything like that. But it so I'm kind of self-taught in that way, and through experimentation and knowing what my clients and customers needed to break through things or advance. And so it's so amazing. I mean, there's crystals out there like white howlite that help people with ADHD calm themselves, their children. And when it comes to releasing, like, people think that there's energy around them that's negative. I have a self entity removal one. So there's a lot of different crystal body grids, and I tell you exactly where to put them around your body. A little list of what you need, and if you want to amp it up with essential oils and things like that, I give you everything you need, even down to the suggestion of music with yourself. So it's really, gives you every detail you need to be a self crystal healer.
That's amazing. Wow. That's how beautiful. I'm excited to dig into it. I think that sometimes people feel, why does it happen so much with crystals? When we walk into a store, we're like, I want them all. And so with so much information you have in your book, 66 grids and all of that information, it's good to just go, like, don't let yourself get overwhelmed. That's actually the kind of human brain wanting to be good at something, but to, like, take one thing at a time, right? And just really get to know it. Because it sounds like that's what you did in order to become an expert, is you just, like, really nurtured the connection that you had with crystals one at a time or a few at a time, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what you advise?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, once you know, like, the energy of one and what it does for you, and you just get a little bit of knowledge with it, even on your own feelings about that stone, then you make your little notes, and then your mental notes with it that, hey, this one does this for me and this one does that for me. And like I said, from day to day, we change our emotions. One day you're happy, one day you might be sad, or you're going through a bunch of crap. So you know, at that day is when you want to look at all the stones and choose one. So if you start your little collection, it's kind of neat to keep them in like a little glass bowl or something natural, you know, like wood. And in the morning, like, even with your jewelry, because a lot of us have crystal jewelry, and that's why they say women live longer than men, by the way.
Oh, really?
But now guys are wearing a lot of jewelry.
Because we wear so much more jewelry? Interesting. I love it.
Yeah, because of the vibrancy, you know, because it keeps us, you know, more vibrant, more alive, and, you know, just our energy just stays fresher. I guess I'll say, I like the word fresh.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, absolutely. So it's as soon as you start learning about the crystals, like you said, even if it's just one by one, in the book, I try to make it easy. I tell you about the 66 crystals, and each one I kind of make a nickname for so you can remember it. So it's fun. Mm-hmm. So I have one that's called, you know, the Get Her Done stone. So if you need to get a lot of things done that day, you'll use a ruby zozite. I make my top 11 crystals. So if you only could afford a certain amount, this would, you know, these ones would be your little stash kit that you would want. So I kind of make it fun and learning. So it's not like so boring. It's not scientific at all. I just give you the premises of how, you know, frequencies work together and harmonize. And then I go in with the fun stuff. So it's not like, it's very fun, exciting book. It's not boring at all. You'll flip through it. I have a little chart in there. Like, if you have an ailment, you can look up the ailment. I'll give you the crystals that go with it and the right chakras. So I make it so user friendly. It's like, you know, it's just a book you're going to go back in and out of as a reference guide.
Sounds amazing, especially I'm sure that, like, crystal Bibles, those really comprehensive ones, are great to have and everything. But again, it can be a little bit overwhelming. And so, yeah, yours sounds like it. Like you said, I love that user friendly. And I really do. I do a lot of the things that I have learned. I like to approach them with self-learning first, you know, the direct connection to the universal mind, because I feel like you can then bring through, you know, a purer frequency for you and how it's meant to come through you as an individuated piece of source energy. But then, and again, it's cool then if you are exposed to other people's information on it that they brought through, and then you find the similarities and you're like, wow, this is amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's a really fun experience.
You're absolutely right. And everything that we learn, like, through the universe, like, your guides will always show you, like, even if you're not feeling like you're connecting 100%, we all have our guides around us, and they will show you what you're meant to do or how you're meant to do it. And it's just about, you know, listening a little bit more. And, you know, people think sometimes when you meditate, it has to be so quiet, but a lot of people meditate by doing exercise or things like that, you know, and even with working with the stones, all, like, just holding one and just feeling the frequency of it can be enough of a meditation for people. And when you realize just like 5 to 10 minutes with a stone, it's starting just to change your energy. But our general rule is, if you hold on to a stone or a crystal, so I'm going to just hold on to my my lovely stone, rose quartz. If you hold on to it for more than 20 minutes, it takes 20 minutes for a crystal's frequency to go all the way through your layers, like we said. So even if you're holding it for 1 second and you feel it instantly, that just means you're like, you know, a sensitive person and you're feeling it. And, you know, a little bit stronger than other people, which you absolutely can. And every stone might be a little different. So, like, of course, I'm going to feel Cav-insight a lot stronger because I'm clairaudient, just like you probably would. And other people that maybe have different abilities are going to feel things a little bit different to them. So that's going to be their strong stone. So you taking one at a time and really feeling the energy is, like, fantastic. I teach a workshop where we have all 66 stones in front of us. So you kind of really get stoned after, because it's all confusing energy after a while, but it's fun.
Yeah.
So hold each one and just, like you said, hold it, feel it, take your notes. And every person in the room feels a little bit different with it, but they can usually feel it in the same energy spot in their body. So it's really, like, eye-opening, you know?
It probably, language is very organic, that stoned probably comes from spending a lot of time around minerals, around crystals. I'll bet you that that's not just a coincidence, that's probably how it happened.
The funny part is I wanted to call my book Stoned, but they wouldn't let me. They
like, my bad. Confusing message. No, it's not gonna. Yeah.
Speaking of stoned, there is a crystal called moldavite. It's actually a tektite. So do you know that one?
I'm familiar with it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So moldavite is a tektite. It was a meteorite that fell to the earth and to the Czech Republic. And when it fell to the earth, it smacked down and made a glass-like substance. So it's actually sold by the gram. And it's a green little stone, and little tiny pieces are all you need because it's really powerful. It's very transformative. So like if you have a lot of things that you want to release in your life, it's good. It puts you on a higher vibration to a spiritual level. It also can make you feel stoned, like literally. So if I hold on to one, like I have one a little too close to me right now because I'm getting a little like floaty because I'm already working in my upper chakras most of the time because I'm clairaudient.
Right.
That one kind of makes me feel like stoned. So a lot of people love that feeling. We have a crystal room in my shop made of it inside the walls. People love going in there, especially the young folks, to go in there and just kind of float out of their body for a while. So I love it for floating out of your body. But normally, like if you're wearing jewelry of it, some people can handle it. Remember, I said we're all different in different ways of what we need in our lives. But I have a couple friends that are what I call A personalities. They have to have things a certain way. And, if not, things like kind of annoy them. So they're a really good person to be wearing moldavite because it helps them steady and balance. So now they feel, I want to say more balanced than normal during the day when they wear it. And they don't feel like they have to be so harsh with things. So it's kind of a really good gift for somebody if you know that they're a little bit like that. It'll help them out a lot and mellow them out. So it is a mellow stone. I call it dude. I always want to say dude, where's my car stone? But it's the dude, what's up stone. But it's a fun stone to work with.
That's amazing. When you think about the type A personality can be very particular. And so it kind of expands things for you coming from, the cosmos, basically. It's being very astral, so it balances it out in that way and makes you feel mellow if you're uptight or something. Not to be uptight sounds like an insult. It's not what I mean, but we can all be that.
Yeah, it's not a negative thing. It's just, it just helps that person with what they need, just like, somebody else would need something to get motivated. If you had, not that the person has to be lazy, but it just makes you, maybe get things done in a faster, quicker way, or have a better thought process of how to do those things in a faster, quicker way.
I've heard people suggest that moldavite is also good for connecting with, like benevolent star beings, ETs, cosmic beings, and interdimensionals that are more from the, the realms of the stars and other planets. Is that something that you recommend or you're familiar with? And moldavite and also shungite as well, I've heard, is good for that kind of connection.
Yeah, I would say more moldavite than shungite. Absolutely with moldavite, because moldavite, NASA doesn't even know where it came from. It was a meteorite out there, and they could never identify it. And every time I do like guided meditations with them, or I work with people one-on-one, they always can have an out-of-body experience with it, and they do feel like they're going into space. Wow. Even for myself, when I do it, like I said, I only do it when I want to escape a little bit, and I totally go into like a whole different dimension. So it is really cool. And I do connect with the ones called the star ones and galactic beings. And also Galileo comes through a lot too. So I think he really jives with that. He really likes it.
Yes, I want to hear about Galileo. I think you're mentioning Galileo again. I was like, talk about Galileo. So the kind of information that, and the purpose or the connection to Galileo, I think that's really beautiful. I mean, that would be a very cosmic connection because that's what he did while he was a human, was, connecting with the stars and helping us to shift our perspective and awaken out of that kind of matrix of limitation in 3D in his life. And he did it so fearlessly.
Yeah, I started just kind of like Michael. All of a sudden I started hearing things with Galileo, and because I didn't really know too much about like any kind of cosmic events and things like that, and I kept channeling. All of a sudden, like my guides, especially Galileo, wanted me to do things whenever there was like big cosmic things happening, and I would know. And I had a friend that was an astrologist, and he always used to say, "How do you know this is going on?" He's like, "Are you looking it up?" I'm like, "No." So, and then I started like asking who's telling me this, and I got Galileo. And we actually kind of did a little experiment. This might sound weird to most people, but I believe in parallel lives.
Oh no, and we talk about that here. People may find it weird, but yeah, exactly. Time is an illusion. We talk about parallel and future and all of that. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And so I actually feel like I was Galileo's scribe.
Cool.
And my friend looked up a time chart, through the stars in the sky. My astrologist friend did it for 30 years, and it would be plausible that I actually was around the certain age that I channeled that I was working with him, because he did have a scribe at that time, and it was in the exact town of where the frequency would have been through my stars. Like if you looked up my stars and my birth date and everything. So it was kind of cool. So I was like, whoa, it kind of confirms things for me. So I liked it.
That's awesome. Well, yeah. And if you're his scribe, then you're like the best student, and you are you would be one who would be bringing through those messages because you're just transcribing them. So that's a pretty cool position to connect with.
Yeah, I think it was more like the writing thing, but yeah, it was cool enough.
And so you work with Galileo on like for other people. You channel in your readings and stuff like that. Galileo will connect with folks. What kind of stuff does it facilitate?
He really comes through more when I do my own channeling for myself. I do it about once a month. I don't know how long. I was going to ask you the question because it's as you channeling and stuff too. Some people ask us, well, how many times do you channel for yourself? And I'm like, really like once a month.
You know what? Thank you for bringing that up, because I actually, a friend of mine who's a channel, and we were talking about, and I was like, well, have you channeled for yourself lately? And she kind of laughed like, no, like, well, like, like we forget to do that. But yeah, I don't know. It should be something. I mean, it is something that would be really smart to even put on the calendar if you do it. Maybe with the lunar cycle, so you'll remember it, or maybe with the new moon or something. I did a couple of days ago, but probably when I did before that, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like when I channel for others, it is for me as well. But yeah, when it's really dedicated for yourself, it's a totally different energy. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Little message for me.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so it's so I try to channel for myself once a month, and sometimes he'll give me information, and then I share it again with my clients, so then I know like what cosmically is going on and how people might be feeling or reacting. But other than that, I don't really I don't use that in my sessions per se. I just use that knowledge that he shares with me. But there's a lot of star beings that come through, and there's some crystals that you can use if you're interested in connecting with the star beings besides moldavite. Another one I like is I call it the unicorn crystal. It's called a apophyllite. Do you like that one?
Well, I mean, I love unicorns, and I'm actually going to be a unicorn for Halloween. And my husband was just talking this morning about how I am a unicorn, so it's all very aligned. So I got too excited. I didn't hear what you said it was. What was it?
It's called a apophyllite.
Okay.
And it looks like a little triangle, and you put it on your third eye and do a little session with it on your third eye. It can take people back to a parallel life or past life, depending on what you believe in. But it does take you kind of out of your body as well, in a higher dimensional kind of journey. So that's a really cool one. If you're into that kind of stuff, you might want to try that. It works good and harmonizes really well with selenite. Selenite's the white stone. Yep, you got the apophyllite up there. That's great.
That's beautiful.
So it's from the quartz family.
Okay. And
then the other one is selenite. This is selenite stick. It's a self-cleansing stone, so you can actually put all your stones on top of it, and it cleanses your stones. But selenite and apophyllite work good together as a little mini grid if you wanted to. Kind of just put it in your upper chakras from your neck up or around the top of your head. And I would always put the apophyllite on your third eye or close to it. And that one, you could just do a little mini session. You could fall asleep and have some really cool outer space dreams.
Oh, wow. Nice.
4-dimensional dreams.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. That's great. I'll have to get me a apophyllite right soon too. I have a few that are on my bedside table, and selenite is always there on my bedside table. I actually have, is it Moroccan and Mexican? Are those the two different varieties that are most common? Is that what it is, or?
Of which one? The apophyllite?
No, selenite.
Oh, selenite. Yeah, selenite. Yeah, it comes from several different places. It actually, some of it comes from Oklahoma too.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just, imagine anywhere there's river and just the mineral content. So the one that I think is the slick one. Is that, I don't remember which one it is. I have the slick one, and I have the one that has more of the ridges around it, the different, and I have them both on my bedside because I just love it so much. It's
well, you're probably basically this is natural, so this is what we call raw when it has the ridges on it.
Yeah.
And when they polish a stone, that's when you usually won't see the ridges, especially on a selenite. So it's probably just a polished stone or a polished piece of selenite.
It is like wand, like it's flat. It's flat too. And it actually kind of, it had a little bit of an inclusion. So it split at one point, right? And it split to where it was like, it looks like it's layered, like almost like croissants are layered dough. And so it kind of split like that in this piece. And I was just like, okay, that's how you live now. I didn't break it or anything. It just split on its own. When I was first starting to practice reading and everything, and I was still, just practicing in development circles, and I had to learn how to close sessions because I would just leave myself open, and I would use selenite. I had a ritual of taking selenite and rubbing it all around my whole aura so that I would intentionally close the session and disconnect any cords that I was holding with the people I'd practiced with. And then eventually, the ritual goes away because then you just train your energy to do it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool way to use it too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good to share with everybody because some people don't know that they should always open and close.
Yeah.
I always say you open and close like a store, so you think about it that way. So your guides kind of know, like, don't bother me. I have my life too.
Yeah, exactly. I got to be a human now. Well, I would just leak energy out and I would get sick. And when I didn't know how to, I didn't know how to run energy, have proper energy hygiene. But yeah, just think about it. If you left your store open, then anyone can come in and just take stuff because why not? You didn't even try to lock it. Lights on. One of the last times that yeah, totally, the vacancy, come on in. One of the last times that I was actually at one of my favorite stores, and I was just picking all the beautiful whatever I felt like I wanted at the time, and it was I remember it was several kinds of calcite. It was orange, blue, red, and I think a pink. And then there was a beautiful piece of pyrite. I love pyrite so much. I mean, visually, it's so stunning to me. And then a big fat piece of rose quartz. You can always use more rose quartz. And I think that, and another piece of aventurine, a beautiful piece of aventurine. And so I took it up to the counter, and as I was getting each piece, and the clerk, the register person who was working the register goes, "Oh my gosh, look at your little fairy collection." And I was like, really? Because I work with fairies, which I thought that was really interesting. I work with nature spirits. And then a few minutes later, the store owner, who was Head and Beer nearby, she goes, "Oh, look at that. You've got a little fairy collection." And I was like, what is this? How do you guys know this? Is there something, as I described that to you, particularly elemental, like that collection? I mean, it was definitely it was kind of a rainbow of colors that I had selected. I don't know. It just always struck me that they both said that. And I do work with elementals, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's cool. So basically, like the pyrite that you're talking about, this is the pyrite. You probably have pictures, but pyrite's an energizer stone. It's also called fool's gold. It's for good luck, abundance. So it's a really good one to work with. The calcite that you're talking about, I have a piece of honey calcite. This one I actually, we always laugh, we call it the sex stone. It's the aphrodisiac. So it is for your creativity too, because it works with your sacral chakra. So it helps with creativity and growth of things. And also, some people believe that it's really good for promoting pregnancy, but it's great for bow chicka bow wow is what I call it.
Okay,
turning up the volume of your sex life.
Okay.
My boyfriend wears that one all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to put a piece in my husband's pocket. In his front pocket, if I could say.
Yeah. Cool. What was the other one? You had rose quartz. What was the other little fairy collection you had there?
I had a blue calcite, red calcite, blue, red, and orange calcite, and a pink one as well. Yeah.
Wow. So you went all with calcite. That's interesting.
I didn't have any calcite. And I was like, I need calcite. It's not like I needed it. It was generally like I need this to be able to go to. It wasn't necessarily in this moment. You know what I mean? It was like I need to add these to my collection to be able to access when I need them for myself and for clients and stuff. So, yeah. Oh, I love it. He's just bringing up pictures.
Beautiful.
It's so beautiful. The orange calcite that I got that day, I got 3 pieces. And they were so beautiful. I know, right? But they're so beautiful that anytime, whether like my husband, who's not so woo-woo and metaphysical, he is, but not like, and anyone else who sees it, it makes you salivate. It's so beautiful. It looks so delicious. Just want to eat it.
Yeah. It's funny. I won't ask you about what happened that night. No, I can't.
Yeah, I know, right? Put a little piece under the bed.
Yeah. There's a lot of other crystals. If you want me to rattle some off, I have my top 11.
Sure.
And we talked about a few of them.
Oh, do that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that'd be great for everyone.
Okay, so my top 11, the first one here is called the Petalite. I call it the Prozac stone. So it's kind of like a purpley colored stone. Let me see if I can get you one right here. And the Petalite actually has lithium inside of it. So that's why, we call it the Prozac stone, right, or the Prozac stone, because it helps alleviate your moods and to be positive, more balanced, any mood changes, things like that. If you have mood swings, kind of like a roller coaster lifestyle, this will help you. So if you know anybody that's like that, this stone is really good for them. It helps mellow them and have a deeper understanding too of, how they want their life to be. Okay. So it's a really great stone. I sell a lot of this one's probably maybe one of my number one sellers. So it's a great stone to have and to be able to give to somebody if they need it. The second one here is ruby zoisite. That one looks like a little piece of candy. It's green with some pink in it. Sometimes people call it ruby fuchsite. So there is a little bit of a difference, but they still have great properties as far as motivation stone. I call it the get her done stone. So I had one in my pocket and I forgot it was in there. I did like 20 things before 11 a.m. and I was like, taking a break, and I went to the ladies' room, and out of my pocket, when I pulled my pants down, it rolled across the floor, and I was like, you did that. You motivated me. So it's a really cool stone.
I need one of those right now.
But you can't eat it. The next one is moldavite. That's one that should be in your collection. We talked about that one already. Remember the tektite? The one that says, it's a dude stone, kind of makes you feel a little high.
Yeah.
So that one's a really great one to keep around. Dude, I feel good.
Yeah.
And then my number 4 actually is golden calcite, the one that you bought 3 of. And that one, like I said, is the aphrodisiac or sex stone or creativity. It's a great stone for everyone. And then my number 5 is citrine. Most people know what citrine looks like. It's one of the most common, along with amethyst. So citrine is a happy stone. It protects your energy. It's really great for your home or your office. It's one that you could keep in. That one is also a money stone. If you pair it up with green aventurine and you put the two together in a space where your money is or your checkbook, it helps bring abundance too. So it's a really great stone to have, and it definitely will help you sell your house if you're looking to sell your home. Next on the list, I have a stone called iolite. It's kind of like hard to see. It's like a deep purpley blue color, iolite. And I always say I am light because the stone helps you have different perspectives on your life and helps you kind of reevaluate things when you need to with a calm, loving mind. I'll say that. So it's not a stone that's going to make you make rash decisions. It's going to help you be more structured in what you need to do to make those positive decisions in your life. And then number 7 here is white howlite. Kind of looks like marble. Some people call it magnesite.
Ooh, beautiful.
A lot of times they try to dye it blue and sell it to you as turquoise. That's my little pet peeve. Most of the time it is, you got to know the difference. But when you look at it close, if it has like these like little marble like grayish lines in it, even though they dye it blue, you can still kind of see it. And so it's not turquoise, And you can tell by the price because howlite's a very inexpensive stone and it's great for clarity. And it's really, really good for focus. So if you have any students, any kids, any classes that you're taking or anything, it's really good for focus, keeps your mind on the positive track. It gives you great clarity. So it helps you with memory too. And then number 8 is shungite. We talked about this one a little bit earlier too, but we didn't go too in depth with it. This one is awesome. This one I call the Black Beauty. This one is great for protecting you from negative EMFs from your cell phones, computers, any smart meters in your house. This is a great stone. It's also used in filters. In Russia, they actually, in their hospitals since the war, they have rooms made out of it to accelerate healing because it does have fullerenes in it. So it's really strong in healing and also takes away radiation.
Wow.
So
cool.
It's a super duper awesome stone. I have them all over my house between every TV, computer, my FPL meter outside, my electric meter outside. I have stuff out there too.
Right.
They make little tabs that you could put on your phone, and we sell them online too. I don't have my phone here. Let me say, can you see that little round tab on there? That's made of shungite.
Wow.
And so when it's in my pocket, it protects me. A lot of people put their phones where they shouldn't in their body, in their body for a long period of time. So hopefully you don't do that. But if you do, shungite will really help it.
Like in your breast pocket or even your pants pockets, like that's all, interrupting those energy centers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really important to keep that away from your body. And I would like to say, hey, kids out there, don't ever sleep with your phone or anybody, cell phone by your bed. That's like, oh God, the worst thing you could do.
I know.
It really disrupts your sleep patterns. The next one here, number 9, is Auralite 23. And Auralite 23 is like, did everybody hear of Super 7? It's like Super 7 amplified. So even a small piece, Auralite 23 has 23 minerals in it. Wow. So it protects you. It keeps you with a positive mindset. It relaxes you, but it also keeps you balanced in any way, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I love this stone. This is a great one for channeling any kind of meditation because it keeps you grounded and open at the same time. So if you're receiving messages that you want to receive for you on Earth or for somebody on Earth, gives you that direct line as a channel through you, keeping you grounded enough to say the right things that, that are coming from your source. So it's a great stone. I call it the Mac Daddy multivitamin. And it's super cool because not only does positive things for you, but it actually is from Canada. It's the only place that you can get it. And it helps you. I need to hold on to it right now because it'll help me concentrate. This stone is just one of my favorites, and it is a little pricey, but it's worth every penny of it because some people say that it kind of changes your DNA. And so I don't know if I believe that yet. I have to see some sort of like reports or testing on it, but like people talk about all the time how it can change your DNA. So frequency wise, I know it can, but as far as that goes, I'm with that stone a lot and I really love it, but do I look any different? I don't know. We'll have to see about that one. But number 10, black tourmaline. I know we're crunching on time here. Black tourmaline is what I call nasty be gone, or a big blocker. So this stone actually keeps negative energy from coming into your energy field. So it is kind of like a barrier stone. It's really good. So if you're around a lot of people, like I said, in an office, or maybe somebody's coming over that doesn't have the greatest energy, you can make a centerpiece out of that baby. You can put some flowers around it, make it look pretty, and put it in some water at the base. But it's a really great stone. That one's definitely must have. And last one is rose quartz, my lovely stone, the one that we started at the beginning. Rose quartz is great for the heart chakra. It's love for self and unconditional love from your sources, guides, and everyone in between.
That's so beautiful.
Positive energy. Yep.
I actually, with the black tourmaline, when I was in that stage of having to okay, I need to train my energy because I was, that disempowered empath, always like pulling stuff in. And I was wearing that. I knew that. I was like, I need to turn my energy the right way in. And I was wearing a black tourmaline in a cage, like down by my solar plexus. And it helped me so much. It was such a good trainer. Like, this is what it feels like to be you only. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's grounding too. It's very grounding.
Yes.
So keeps you in the present moment. It's a very great stone to have. But, it's not maybe the prettiest one, but a lot of guys like it.
I love it. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, I love it. I've always loved even onyx. You know what I mean? I love those rich colors too, even if it's, the black. Well, yes, that was so much fun, so much information. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Super 11. I have a shopping list now. So tell us the name of your book, and the book is available on Amazon. And tell us about how we're going to put it in the show notes too. So you guys, however you're listening or watching this, you'll be able to click a link here in the description to be able to get Jolie's book. Tell us the name of it and where they can find it.
High Vibe Crystal Healing.
Yeah, awesome.
And crystals and frequency body layouts that'll rock your world.
Love it.
So Kid Rock, come get one.
And where are you located? Where are your stores? Where are you located? Those stores.
My stores are in Florida, South Florida. One's in Boca Raton, Florida, and the other one is in Deerfield Beach, Florida. So they're both South Florida. You could go on my website, myfloraura.com or joliedemarco.com. I also have a site called crystaljunkie.com.
Oh, great.
I have crystal apps that you can use to get your own rock reading right there on your phone. So if you go up Jolie DeMarco and you go to iTunes, all the apps that I have. I actually have a Galileo's app too. So Tricia might like that one.
Yeah.
It tells you when something's going to happen. So
oh my gosh.
Galileo's time it's called.
I love it. Okay, we're going to put links for all of that stuff and your website as well in the description. My goodness, thank you so much. This was so exciting, so fun. I'm so excited I feel like I just got a whole master thesis that I get to go unpack now. So thank you so much for.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Have a great one. Rock on.
Yeah, rock on. I love it. Thank you, Jolie DeMarco. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.